Exactly 8 minutes past 7.
Get a lot of texts this morning about the sad news about Michael Jackson. 81199 if you want to add your comments. We'll read some out. We'll play some songs from him. I think it's the right thing to do as we remember the great man who sadly died last night, Michael Jackson.
Another day has gone.
That's Agnes and Release Me on BBC Radio 1 morning. It's the Chris Moyles Show. It's 7:17. We're here till 10 o'clock today, and then Joe Wiley's live from Glastonbury Festival.
The Chris Moyles Show. International Radio 1.
Thanks for all the text messages coming in about the Michael Jackson news, the sad news. Michael Jackson died last night. Anne says, I think everyone must have a Michael Jackson song somewhere in their music collection. It's like a staple food. Probably right. Thriller was the first record I ever bought. You couldn't see the walls of my bedroom for the Michael Jackson poster, says Mercia. And Beck in Cambridge, and there's lots of these coming in saying, never considered myself a huge fan, but I'm really sad and shocked to the news. Lots of those coming up. And many people saying as well in the golden hour we should just do half an hour, so I think we'll do that.
Definitely.
Half an hour of Michael Jackson songs coming up between half 9 and 10. On Twitter last night, Ryan Seacrest, who I don't follow, by the way, but somebody kind of sent it to me. Ryan Seacrest goes, oh my God, just heard the news about Michael Jackson. I'm rushing to the studio now. Be live on air on E shortly. And it's like that. Yeah, plug the show, mate. Get the little plug in.
Every opportunity.
Yeah. So, yeah. Michael Jackson, You Are Not Alone. A lot of people getting sad when we played that. So...
It's a very sad record anyway, isn't it?
I'd say that's probably the saddest.
I know, but
selection.
It's a teary record at the best of times.
Yeah.
Alan's like a massive Michael Jackson fan. Have you cried yet?
I wouldn't. It's not so much that, you know, in a pathetic kind of way that I've lost Michael Jackson. It's more that a lot of my childhood was, you know, following him. The music meant quite a lot. So it's just quite a shock that it's kind of gone.
If you do cry, it'd be great for the visualisation.
I don't think it would. I think people get annoyed with me if I cried.
On camera, it'd be brilliant.
I'm not far off. The whole show, I'm going to be on the edge. Not again, just because it's a huge shock, really.
Yeah, massive. I already said this morning, I surprised myself at my reaction to the whole thing. You know. But,
I haven't really fully taken it in, if I'm awfully honest, because I found out about an hour ago, so...
Do you know what's weird? Is that in 3 weeks' time, we were going to be watching him on stage.
I know.
Literally, 2-3 days ago in the office, you were saying, you know, are you around on such and such a date because we're supposed to be going to go see you.
Well, those gigs aren't happening now. What can you do? Sad day. All right, so Jonathan Blake is in America. He's our Newsbeat reporter.
He's in New York, isn't he?
Yeah. And he should be on the line now. Morning, Jonathan.
Hi, morning, Chris.
Well, good evening for you.
Well, it is. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, actually, so it is still good morning, just.
Man, you ain't going to get any sleep tonight in New York.
Oh,
because,
no.
You know, everybody's going to want to speak to you because you're our link to America.
Yeah.
No pressure.
On a strange night.
So where were you yesterday? So you're out in New York. So where were you yesterday, and what time did that story start breaking as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, I was here in New York yesterday, and it was about 5 o'clock in the evening when the first report sort of started coming through. There was the odd thing on the news channels and online as well, just that Michael Jackson had been taken to hospital. That was all really the information we had at first, and then it started trickling through different sources saying different things, that he was in hospital, but then relatively quickly, after about an hour or so, the first reports that he died started coming through. You mentioned earlier on when you were watching Sky, it was pretty much the same here. TMZ.com were the first people, I think, to report that he had died, but it still wasn't clear. But then by about, I think it was 7 o'clock in the evening, our time over here, it was being widely reported, and then it was confirmed that he'd been taken to hospital after having a heart attack and gone into a coma, and then died a couple of hours later in the hospital. And everyone here still really is, you know, it's the middle of the night. It's that strange feeling. Everyone is in shock and can't really take it in.
What are the official words? We heard from Michael Jackson's brother in the news.
It was Jermaine, wasn't it?
Yeah. And has anybody else spoken out? By the time I got to bed about 1 a.m. because I was watching all the new stuff, you kind of just get engulfed in the whole thing. I don't think there'd been an official word from his family or from the hospital. So who's spoken out so far?
No, well, that news conference that Jermaine Jackson gave was really the first official word that we had had. The coroner in Los Angeles had been quoted by a couple of news sites saying that Michael Jackson had died and he'd been in a coma, but there wasn't any statement from anyone at the family or any of Michael Jackson's management or lawyers for a very long time, and it's only recently that we've started getting word from them. So it seems that they were taken by surprise as much as everybody else, and it really did come out of the blue. But yeah, it didn't take long for it to be confirmed. The family have asked for privacy, as Jermaine Jackson said in that clip you heard in the news, but I'm sure we'll be hearing more from them later on. Janet Jackson has also put out a statement saying that it's impossible for the family to find the words at the moment to speak to each other.
I bet. It's losing anybody in your family, a close friend, is just bad enough, especially when it's arguably one of the most famous men on planet Earth.
Yeah.
What's the feeling like? You're in New York at the moment, Jonathan. Sort of earlier on this evening for you, or last night for us. What was the feeling like, sort of out on the streets? How are people just shocked and confused by the whole situation?
Yeah, well, it's bizarre. People are shocked, but news travels fast, particularly like this here. And there's the TV news networks were running it wall to wall very quickly, but. It's kind of turned into a bit of a celebration very quickly as well. I was up in Times Square a couple of hours ago, which is really busy, every night. But hundreds of people had just gone there to kind of just be there and talk to each other about it. And people were driving past with Michael Jackson on their car stereos. And there was, literally dancing in the streets there and up in Harlem as well, where he played with the Jackson 5, a long time ago. And everyone you speak to is just saying, we're remembering his music. We want to remember him for his music. So it is sad, but people are kind of, taking it as an opportunity to celebrate his career, I guess.
Where are you now, Jonathan?
Right now, I'm in my apartment in New York.
You sound like there's an earthquake going on. Or are you just
really?
Are you so? It's all.
It's the mic.
Yeah. Jonathan should have been in bed 4 hours ago. That's probably what it is.
I've got the shakes.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Thanks, man. We'll come and talk to you later on, and if you hear anything else, just let us know and
get some kip if you can.
Yeah, I'll try. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep you posted throughout the morning. Speak to you later.
Thanks, man. Have a good night out there in America. Jonathan in New York from Newsbeat.
Top man.
Yeah. So it's going to be a bit of a weird show today. It's just going to be an odd show. I just want to try and get the tone right. I was all prepared to talk about this homeless show on BBC One last night, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah, I saw bits of that.
And did you see both shows?
No, I just saw bits of it just before I went to bed. But what I saw, I just thought was really interesting. I saw the bit that I saw was your man's name, I forget him, off the One Show.
Hardeep Singh Kohli.
Yes, and he was on there, and he was there, and he was with a Glaswegian fella who was a drug addict who has also been a drug dealer, and he was saying how he didn't have the sympathy for him. But just the whole situation of actually seeing Hardeep and whatever there with all his homeless get up on and actually living life like that, it was interesting.
You missed the first show where they had a guy on who basically couldn't hack it and checked into a hotel a couple of nights and was sitting there having a full hearty breakfast in the morning. He's meant to be doing a show about homeless people.
So, what is the premise? So, are they just...
The idea was to go out and live on the street for a week.
Are they particularly rich or anything, or is it just normal people?
Well, they took celebrities being...
Gotcha, I see.
I don't know how particularly rich Hardeep Singh Kohli is, or the bloke who used to be in Corrie, playing Les Battersby, but the idea was to take him out of the environment, stick him on the street. It was really interesting. It was a real eye-opener.
How long do they have to stay on the street for?
They stayed on the street for 6 nights and then 3 nights in a hostel.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. It was quite intense, but...
Bruce Jones ended up taking them all to the pub, didn't he?
Yeah. He didn't need asking twice, did he?
No.
It's on the iPlayer. Go and watch it. It's quite a show. There's some really nice light moments in it, and there's some quite horrible dark moments in it, but...
It's interesting.
Yeah.